Alright everyone, a quick video on the third member of the Trench team. We'll do Admiral Trench next. Him, Newt, and Watt, my opinion, make up the trio that generates a lot of speed for the team. So we're going to do Admiral Trench next. So we'll look at a few things here real quick, and then we will jump over here to the mods. Now, his basic, something to note here is when using his basic, he puts shocks on the enemy for 2 turns. If they're already shocked, then he can stun them for 1 turn. And then the other thing is more for your team, where you get heal over time, protection over time for 2 turns. But that doesn't really apply towards enemies. You don't really need any mods for that. So having a little bit of potency will definitely help in landing shock and stun, which are both pretty powerful debuffs, two of the better ones. Net positive has a cooldown of 3. And this here gives you a lot of stuff. You dispel buffs, deal special damage to the target enemy, and inflict stagger. So here's stagger, another really good buff. And then, of course, mass call assist. You gain tactical supremacy, which you gain. Trench gains protection up 40%. So that's good to note right there under tactical supremacy. With tactical supremacy, you get increase in critical damage and potency. So that's going to help him with landing those stuns and stagger and everything. If you can keep tactical supremacy on him, which it only lasts for 2 turns. And this here has a cooldown of 3 turns. So recover 10% protection. And this is if it's dispelled. So basically you're recovering protection. And you're getting potency here, which is important, and protection up. Okay. We'll look at his leadership. You get plus 30% max health and protection, and potency. Plus 10% speed. Okay, and then when this is if they inflict Separatist allies, inflicts a debuff on enemy, they gain 20% offense, stacking. And then if you was to put a tech on him, this is good to know, one of Watt's tech on him, he would get a plus 100% potency. So that could be a strategy right there in his kit where you don't focus on potency. You just plan on putting one of the techs on him. Would not recommend the Bactoid shield generator. That should be going on either Django or Count Dooku, depending on who you want to have as your kind of unofficial tank for the team. Okay, and then while you have heal over time, you get increased counter chance. While you have protection over time, you get increased defense penetration. Okay, just kind of a quick overview. This is important right here. Admiral Trench loses 50% of his health and gains that much max protection. So he's going to be a very protection heavy character. So While Trench is active, Separatist allies have plus 50% potency. There's a lot of extra potency built in here. He also gains protection over time, 10% for 2 turns at the start of his turn. While his protection up, he's immune to buff immunity and healing immunity. That's good to know. Doesn't really do anything for Trench. This is good to know. Doesn't really help with modding per se. Whenever an ally is damaged by an attack, defeated, or evades, Trench has a 50% chance to gain 100% turn meter. Okay. And of course, he's got extra stuff here with his Omnicrons for territory wars, but that will make him even better, faster, tougher team. But I want to kind of go towards like if he's using him in other parts of the game. But this modding will also work if you're using him in territory war. So as you can see, I've got a speed set and a health set. So the speed set basically allows you to get him up to a really fast speed. As you can see over here, I got him up to 335 speed. And the reason why you want to do that is, one, to get his debuffs out, like on his basic, but also the next reason is to get these heal over time and protection over time up, which will help with the survivability of your team. Same thing with net positive. Protection up on your team here when you get tactical supremacy out helps with keeping your team alive. This here can argue might do more depending on how much protection each character has compared to their health. Definitely helps Trench out a lot. Plus you can get that stagger out. And it's not showing here, but if you use him in territory war, his tactical supremacy buff will give you a plus 25 speed boost when you have that Omnicron. So you want to have him fast so you can improve the survivability of the team, and also so you can get the debuffs out there and get that supremacy buff on your characters. I recommend a health set because Admiral Trench is a key component of the team. Even though he only has 2 things that you can really use, they do provide a lot of good stuff. So health is kind of like a good contingency plan in case the enemy is a little bit faster than what you was anticipating. Helps keep them around. Now you could use other things. You could put potency in there, or tenacity would be a good choice. Keep him from getting stunned or something like that. That would be my two top, health or tenacity. You could use potency if you need to. Definitely would not hurt. So obviously this one always has to be offense. As you can see here, I got some potency, but I was going for health, tenacity, and speed. This one's obviously always defense. So got some extra defense. The great thing about extra defense is it will make your health and your protection tougher for them to get through. So it has kind of a dual thing. I did get some protection and some more tenacity, so all these things are good things to have. You're looking for speed and survivability, because he's not really a damage dealer and he's not a tank. As you can see up here by his tag, support. So he's going to be supporting your team and keeping them going. So on the circle, you can go with either protection or health. CG recommends health, but in all honesty, the only advantage I see with that is you get a little more health in your health pool, because whatever health you have is going to be reduced by half, and then that half basically moved over into your protection. With that being said, you will get a larger protection boost with the protection circle versus a health, because you only get 16% health versus 24% protection. I went with protection here because I got 23 speed, and I got other good things like the defense, a little bit of offense percentages is fine, and health. So that's why I went with protection. I personally think that protection is a better choice for the circle, but they do recommend the health one, and there's some pluses to having the health versus protection. Your health will be a little bit higher. Okay, and the cross went with protection right here. Got 23 speed, health. I prefer a percentage defense, but that's okay, especially with this kind of speed. Had a little bit of crit chance, which is fine. I went with the health triangle. One reason is I got speed, and I got another bump in health in the secondary stat. Some extra defense, offense, but mainly because of the health and the speed. And the other reason is to kind of help balance out my stats, so I'm not getting too heavy in protection, and he'll have some health boost. In case you come up against a character that for some reason bypasses your protection and starts hitting your health bar instead. Arrow went speed. I think this is the best one to get. Now, if you do by chance have a protection or health speed arrow that has really good speed secondary, like around 25 speed, then you can definitely argue to have that kind of arrow instead of a speed arrow, because you'd have a big boost in survivability, and your speed will only go down, a marginal amount, being like 7 speed if you had a 25 speed secondary. But this one did give me a lot of other boosts. I got defense, protection, health, all are good. Crit chance, it doesn't hurt. But so that kind of gives you an idea there behind the modding and what kind of and how it's going and how it ties into the kit and his leadership and unique. So hopefully that kind of helps everyone with modding for Admiral Trench. I'm going to be once I get him up, I'll try to get some videos of them being into combat, especially going up against higher relic teams, and hopefully get you some good content for that. Like always, appreciate it if you guys could subscribe and share this. Trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and anybody that wants to subscribe will definitely help. Trying to produce more content as I have time here between helping my wife with the twins and stuff, and try to at least by tomorrow try to get you another character. Thinking of doing modding for Count Dooku. So thank you for the support and everything, and see you soon.